It's not like we're really going to see anything too serious, are we?
So the biggest question from here is exactly how countries start to retaliate and then whether the White House looks to strike any deals. But the posturing at this point is that they're just not open to it at this point. Guys?
It was what I was going to ask you, and I am surprised to hear it because a lot of these rates are very high. And I guess the question from here, Megan, is just what the pain threshold is for this administration. I know they say they're not watching the stock market, but we're down 4.75% right now on the NASDAQ. And the economy, like, okay, there's an adjustment. We could have a recession, but I'm not sure that they would want something deeper than that.
Ah, deeper than a recession, you say. Cool. But hey, thank God that we elected the eggs are $1 higher than they used to be guy. Am I right? In fact, what's especially damning to the point of Trump's rhetoric during the campaign is that Trump's tariffs would translate into a 2.3 percentage point increase for overall inflation this year, per new estimates from the Yale Budget Lab, or about a 3,800 impact for the average household. In other words, Trump's most potent attack against Democrats during this past campaign was that he would bring down prices on day one, his words, not mine, and excoriated the Democrats for somehow causing the global phenomenon of inflation that resulted from the aftermath of COVID. But now that he's actually in office, his principal move is to voluntarily increase inflation? If you voted for Trump and you believed his rhetoric on the economy, do you realize now how you were sold a bill of goods? Because Trump may lie, but the numbers don't. Of course, this assumes that the Trump administration and their mouthpieces in Congress are actually willing to acknowledge reality and recognize the pain that they're causing. I mean, I can't imagine a world in which they wouldn't do that, right?
Nobody wants pain for their constituents. I don't want pain for the people of Florida.
But Donald Trump said there will be some pain and disruptions.
Hold on. But you are making an assumption without knowing the details.
I'm not making the assumption. Donald Trump himself said there was pain and disruption that was going to happen.
You're making an assumption. You are making an assumption, an economic assumption right now. Let's be very clear. The real pain economically has been the massive inflation coming from bloated overspending here in Washington, D.C. That is the real pain that the American people have felt the last 4 years.
Ah, well, I guess we shouldn't believe our lying eyes then. I guess we shouldn't believe that Whirlpool is laying off 651 American workers in Iowa, citing the economic conditions under Trump. I guess we shouldn't believe that Stellantis is laying off 900 American workers in 5 auto plants across the U.S. because of Trump's tariffs. I guess we shouldn't believe that the NASDAQ is on track for the biggest one-day drop since March of 2020, when, by the way, the president was, yet again, Donald Trump. I guess we shouldn't believe any of these things because doing so might reflect poorly on the God King, right, Byron Donalds? And we couldn't possibly have that. Even though you pretended that eggs being $1 more expensive was the end of the world when Biden was president, now that Americans are watching their 401ks plummet and jobs being slashed and healthcare getting put on the chopping block and the Social Security Administration get gutted from the inside to be able to give Republicans the pretense to be able to eventually privatize it, suddenly we're pretending that everything is fine, just fine. If these people were capable of shame, they wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But they're not, and so I presume they sleep just fine. In the meantime, back on Earth 1, it's clear what Trump is doing, and that is crashing our economy and ushering us into a recession, or worse, because he is a weak little man who's trying to show the world that he's tough. And the way he'll show that toughness is by throwing Americans and their retirement savings onto the grenade. You all are the collateral damage for Trump's ego trip. Your retirement savings, your healthcare, your budgets, your mortgages, your grocery bills, all to satisfy the fragile ego of a petty little man desperate to show the world that he's big. If you voted for Trump before, I'm not looking to relitigate the past, but I do hope that you'll finally acknowledge that what the Republican Party says and what the Republican Party does exist on 2 entirely separate planes of reality. And on this plane of reality, while Trump crowed about how he'll rescue us from tough times, the truth is that he is unilaterally responsible for ushering them in. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.